headset. Please, your phone's on silent. Are you ready?
Good afternoon. Welcome to Spotlight on Mainland FM 98.3. Today we're going to be talking tech tools for growing SMEs. My name is Tobore, and with me in the studio we have Joshua, Riebelle, and Damola, Ogunbambo. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Joshua Riebelle is a design enthusiast with over 14 years of experience, which spans interactive design, animation, front-end scripting, art directing, prototyping, and UX design, an Orange Academy facilitator and Google's GABO training instructor. He worked as a front-end engineer from 2007 to 2010, then moved into advertising between then and now. He has worked with digital agencies and consulted on various tech projects, requiring his user experience, prototyping, consumer journey, and product design skills, designing web and mobile-based products for various industries, services, and product offerings. Nice to have you, Mr. Joshua.
Thank you.
And we have Damola Ogunbambo, an evolving entrepreneur and software engineer who enjoys building great products that people love. He's a seasoned tech-savvy, business-minded individual with over 13 years industry experience, vast experience in dealing with corporates, managing scalable technology, infrastructure, and business processes. He has helped to grow Shopkite merchants from barely a few merchants to thousands who depend on it daily to manage their business. As we all know, Nigeria today is a very funny place right now. It's pretty difficult to do business here. The ease of doing business today is very difficult. SMEs are low on staff power due to the ever-rising cost of commodities in Nigeria. There's so many factors that make managing a business more difficult, such as power, cost of fueling, generators, forgetting to restock inventory, amongst others. SMEs have been a part of world building and sustainability that have been thriving in Nigeria and has a lot of key players in this sector. I'd like to ask you, how does Shopkite come in handy to handle the issues of difficulty in doing businesses?
Thank you very much, and it's good to be on here. Like you rightly said, businesses face difficulties on a daily basis, and I think we understood that right from the onset, and we had to factor a lot of. We thought of those problems, right, and we factored a lot of that into how the solution was built. One, you mentioned the issue of power, which seems to be a central issue. We all face it in whatever cadre of business you're in. And one of the things we did then was realize that existing point of sale systems required you to have computers, have power running.
The whole setup.
Sometimes customers walk into your shop or your store, and when they walk in, you have to go and put on the gen. Or if the gen goes out while you're trying to input the things they purchased, that's a big problem. So when we're thinking about it, our thought was, how do we ensure that power is not a problem? And that's why we, decided to go with mobile-based technology that already has batteries in them, and of course that addresses the power issue that businesses face. And like you rightly said, we are very focused on retail businesses, pharmacists, community pharmacists, supermarkets, and with our focus on them, we've realized that there is an issue of pricing costs. To be able to purchase some of these devices, the POS system, it's really expensive, which boils down to some of the challenges you've mentioned that businesses face in Nigeria, right? So one of the other things we thought about was cost. How do we make this thing very inexpensive, affordable, right, to everyone? And that's why we've come up with a solution that beats every price you could have out there to purchase an average point of sale system that you find. What you will have close to about 200,000 naira upwards, but this is just 10,000 yearly, and that of course helps to ensure that businesses don't have a huge burden on their finances just because they want to begin to keep track of their sales, keep track of their of their inventory. And thirdly, I would say is businesses thrive when their inventory is retail businesses thrive when their inventory is properly managed. Expiry is one of the big problems. I'm sure if you walk into a pharmacy and you're about to purchase any kind of medication, the first thing you think of is when's the expiry date?
Yes.
That comes to you naturally as a customer. So this as little as that is a big problem for pharmacists, for people in these industries like this FMCG and all of that. So we also introduced that to help you discover things that are going to expire. Sometimes it's not really the fault of the businesses, right? They have this expired, they have a lot of products to deal with. So when one expires, they have too many things that are on their shelves and all of that. So it might be difficult for them to keep track. So this just reminds them, and helps them, because like I said, once you lose when something expires on your shelf, you lost your capital, you've lost your profit, which is injurious to a business. So it's a really big problem. So Shopkite also just gives you that ability to track expiry dates, which prevents you from losing out on products you've purchased. So I think in those three ways and more, we're addressing those fundamental problems that businesses face here in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. If you're just joining us, there's a spotlight on Mainland 98.3 FM. We have with us Joshua Riebelle, CEO, co-founder Shopkite, and Damola Ogunbambo. If you want to chip in your 2 cents, the numbers to call are 0913-600-0410 or 0805. Okay, you can also reach us on our social media handle at Mainland 98.3 FM. Moving on to the second question I have for you for the show. What was the motivation behind Shopkite, and how did you realize that it would be beneficial to neighborhood stores?
Okay, well, the motivation, it's really started off with, it's an interesting story. This friend of ours, who, by the way, is a third co-founder, he had this fundamental problem at home, right? He was concerned about his wife wanted to go to multiple places to find out the prices of different products before she purchases them. Now, he's the one who provides the car and the driver, and for him, I guess as a man, he's thinking from the side of the wear and tear on the car and the fuel you take to go around just to find about prices. So it was like, can't I find a centralized place where my wife could check all the prices before she goes out to make purchases? And as funny as it sounds, that's where the thoughts began.
That was what birthed the idea.
That was what birthed the idea. So we're like, okay, how do we begin to centralize prices? The easy way is you go around, you ask people for the prices, and you put it somewhere. But then what about prices that change? How do you keep track of all of those things? So that led us to realize that you need to help people cater for their inventory, and when they're catering for their inventory, they put their prices. So that's the only way we can we could solve that problem for his wife, where she could go somewhere and see recent prices. So that's the origin. Of course, a lot of things changed from there. We did some research. We found out that the markets, there were bigger problems to solve than just wanting to find out prices. So that really was, I think, the birthing of the idea for us.
Thanks. Doing business in Nigeria, there are many ways people monitor their businesses. So people rather sit down in the shop, watch a sales girl, run around, get things done. Some people put a family member there. Some just have CCTV cameras who monitor the whole process. What is it about Shopkite that makes it so exceptional, monitoring your business with the app?
I think the exceptional thing from the perspective of the business owner is having a bird's eye view by your store, whether you're there physically or you're not. The last time we spoke, Shina was with us. He talked about how pilfering is a big thing when it comes to retail businesses. There was a story at some point where one particular, a big supermarket, I won't mention the name, had an issue with one payment point where over, I think, $500 million, that's 500 million, got missing at the end of the month. And this is a real story, right? And that happened just because nobody was keeping an eye on the inventory on a daily basis, right? And these are real problems. So I think that the idea that a business owner can have real-time updates on what's happening in their retail business, whether a community pharmacist, whether a supermarket, neighborhood store, and all of that, and get that notification the same way you get WhatsApp notifications on your phone, and you know who sold what at what time, you know what products have been updated, like you typically know what's going on. Like that's something new in this space that hasn't been there before. A lot of people don't have a way to, they never had a way to see those things in the past, but now that's very possible. I think that I would say is one of the benefits to business owners.
I mean, that's very, very intelligent of you guys, because monitoring items, inventories real time is very, very it's not something that's easy to do, because a lot of traders, a lot of merchants, at the end of the day, it's towards the close of business that they sit down to put the stocks together, calculate their sales and everything. But having an alert in real time, it just makes you see how everything is done, and it's a very, very good idea. It's very innovative. I believe it's the first of this kind that we've had in Nigeria.
Well, yes, I would say so. Well, as far as we know.
Okay, tell me, as an e-commerce company, from a buyer's point of view, how easy is Shopkite to use?
Well, so for the buyers, like we're getting there. It's a step forward. Before the buyers, come to play, you need to have the sellers. If you get to a place and nobody's selling anything, there's really nothing to buy. So right now, what we're doing is we're laying the groundwork to have as many merchants, to join our platform.
Okay.
Right now, we're about 3,000, and we hear there are about 1.3 million in Nigeria. So we are hoping to hit that mark.
Wow.
So for the buyers, right, what it does is it opens you up to a plethora of merchants.
A virtual marketplace.
Exactly, that you can choose to purchase from, and the prices will be competitive. It will be easy. You get things delivered to your doorstep.
Yeah. So is there by any chance maybe being able to identify any maybe pharmacy or neighborhood store around your vicinity?
Yes, it's like you saw our plan already. Yes.
I mean, because
yes.
it will be very nice to have a guide to identify pharmacies and stores around.
Exactly. That's exactly how we envision that it will work. The way you pop up your Google Maps,
Yes.
and you can find different spots in different places. Say you come to a particular area for the first time, you can actually just pop up the app and then find merchants around you, maybe pharmacies like you mentioned. Yes, so you're right on the money.
Okay, can I only register as a seller on the app?
Yeah, today the app is primarily for
Just sellers, right?
businesses. Yes.
Okay.
Community pharmacists, supermarket is our core focus. Of course, there are other kind of businesses like those who own pet shops.
Yes.
They use Shopkite as well. So for now, it's really just Shopkite merchant, which is for the merchant. With time, consumers will be able to. Although we have, as a merchant, you have like your personalized website, right, that your customers could purchase from. So we do that at a small scale, but definitely there's a bigger scale coming. But yes, just businesses for now.
Okay. I'm interested. I'd like to, I'd like to know. There's this marketplace already, and if you visit the marketplace, for instance, if you go to Ogunbambo market, you see the women selling ugu, bitter leaf, and everything.
Mm.
I know how they hold you and say my customer, and stuff like that. I'm interested to know, does Shopkite give this platform for customers that if you've purchased from a merchant before, you're added to that list, and you are sure that that merchant is a sure person. Like, what I mean is, are you as a customer, is he going to be added to the list of the merchants as trust validation?
Okay, so your question is more around like when customers deal with merchants,
Yes.
The successful transactions, do they lead to us trusting the merchants more or the customers?
The merchants more. Like, so what I'm trying to say is that, is there any contact established between the merchant and the customer?
Oh yes. So Shopkite is a decentralized system. One of the things we thought about at the beginning was we don't want to put Shopkite ahead of the businesses. Each business has its own identity, and of course every business takes the forefront, right? So merchants and customers can reach each other on a platform. We don't try to be the middleman that hides the merchant behind and
Okay.
tries to deal with the customers.
Yes.
No,
So it's
we allow
decentralized.
that that interaction.
That's very, very interesting, because I mean, it's a marketplace, so there has to be the form of mutuality between merchants and customers. And I've been also trying to ask, what has been the most interesting part about Shopkite since its inception?
I think the most interesting part for me personally has been the testimonials. If you go on YouTube, search for Shopkite, you find a couple of our merchants who have agreed to talk to us, and the confidence with which they tell us about the product and how it solves their fundamental problem. One, it gives us that level of what's the word now? Like, we feel a bit fulfilled, right? We still want more, but we feel fulfilled that we didn't set out to just create something that didn't affect people's lives daily, and somehow it's surreal and scary too, because they trust us this much and we're like, oh, we better not mess up, So I think for
There's
me,
loads
it's
of responsibility in your back now.
exactly. Yeah. So it's the way they speak about the product and how it affects their lives and how they love it and how it's beneficial to them. I think that's the highlight for us, for me anyways.
No, that's really having people trust you. It's a whole lot, and you're doing your best to make sure that there's no problems whatsoever. You just have to give them your trust, and you have to guarantee them that it's going to be smooth sailing all the way.
Yeah.
You mentioned a simple accounting process and profit management that makes accessing loans easier for merchants. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that's something we're looking at. We've had a few instances, but it's not a major thing for us right now. Businesses need loans, right? They need loans to be able to purchase products and make sales. Now with Shopkite, we're looking at the possibilities, right, of cases where merchants will be able to get access to loans. We're speaking with a number of these companies that have come up to provide loans to merchants, and although it's not fully active today, right, but we do it on a low scale. We help talk to companies that can provide loans, and because you use Shopkite merchant, it means you have a sense of like your activity, right? You have a sense of your activity and the things you do, right? Because of that means you're able to present your records, as to how your business is faring, and that helps people who provide loans to have an idea, the kind of loans they're able to give you and things you could repay back. So yes, we're dabbling into that a bit. Although the focus still for now is provide an inventory tool and a sales tracking tool, right, to merchants, across Nigeria to manage their businesses first. Then we begin to open up those other areas.
Well, that's interesting. Very, very interesting stuff right there. Okay. I just wanted to know. I know Shopkite are mainly focused on retailers, but I'd just like to find out Is it convenient for wholesalers to, I mean, people who have warehouses and
Oh yes, yeah. We have wholesalers who
okay.
use Shopkite. Yes,
Okay.
they do.
I know it's retailer centric. It's focused primarily on retailers. I just wanted to find out how.
Yes, yes. The thing is, we have a specific plan for retailers, for wholesalers,
wholesalers,
right,
okay.
and distributors, suppliers, and we have that in the works, right. But a couple of wholesalers, use Shopkite already, and for us, we're learning from how they use it, and what they tell us the things they want to see, and because we are homegrown, Shopkite is 100% Nigerian. We are able to build a solution in such a way that it addresses the nuances of how we do business here, right? Most of the other solutions you see are foreign. This is homegrown. So yes, we have wholesalers who use Shopkite today, but we're still planning to have something more specific for the wholesale. Our goal really is to be relevant in the entire retail ecosystem, right? From the manufacturers to the wholesalers, distributors, to the consumers, and all that. So yeah, the wholesalers use Shopkite merchant today.
You mentioned homegrown, Shopkite being homegrown, starting from Nigeria, originally a Nigerian idea. Uh, what was your belief when you started Shopkite? How did you envision Shopkite? What did you see Shopkite like? How did you think Shopkite was going to grow?
Well, I think what we envisioned
Were you
and
scared?
the reality.
Were you scared when you were
Yeah.
starting up Shopkite?
Yeah, we had this interesting vision back then, and it was interesting, right? But I would say we weren't scared then, right? Because we had no idea what we were just saying and the things we were trying to do. But going through the process, we should have been scared. I will understand that way. But I think the realities are very different from the dreams we have, right? But holistically, we're still on the same vision, right? I think we're lucky enough to learn from a lot of other companies who are taking a step in various directions in the retail space, and we're able to see what they did right and where they were lacking, right? And we're patient enough to really take our time to study things properly, to understand what problem to solve now before we begin to move to the next. So when we had the dreams for us were just things that we're just so happy that we found something that really would solve a fundamental problem for people on a daily basis. And I think that was like the joy for us, right? We really loved that. And yeah, reality, life happens, reality comes to you, and it's a whole different ball game from what you're thinking about. But it's really good to have those dreams, because a lot of those things that we've talked about just in theory, we are seeing them coming to reality today. Of course, you're asking us about the wholesalers, you're asking about the customers and all that. Those are things that are still part of the dream, right? We're not doing it fully yet today as we want to, but yet we're seeing some of it materialize. And I mean, you're even asking us those questions now, which means you're seeing the dream along with us. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
That's good stuff. Okay. Can you just tell us your opinion how merchants are benefiting from online marketing?
Yeah. So let me speak about it from two angles. One from the Shopkite angle, then one from just general marketing online. Our fundamental goal is actually to take merchants online, but we have to take care of the offline problems before we can bring you online. And with Shopkite, once you have downloaded the app, you set up your store, you have your inventory on it, you have your prices on it, you've done most of the work. What we then do is we give you a website where we take all that stuff you have in your store.
Inventory, yeah.
Yeah, we put it online. So that means your customers may not necessarily even need to come to your store. We started this online thing when COVID hit.
Oh, 2020.
2020. So it was just apt for us to start it, then. Yes, we took some learnings, right? But we started because people wanted to get to purchase things from businesses that they were familiar with, but they didn't know how to do that. So when we started, all our merchants had like an online space where the inventory was just automatic, and Shopkite synchronizes your offline and your online. That means if something is finished offline, it's finished online as well. If your prices change, offline, it changes online as well. So there's that synergy. And of course, if you go around and Google businesses online now, and you probably use the word Shopkite along with it, you will find them, being listed. And like right now, you can go and do that, and you find a business, and you can purchase for them, make payments, and it gets delivered to you. Right? I use it, as well. So yeah, we're helping that transition into the online space. But I think also generally, digital marketing is really good for businesses, because there are customers that are online that you need to find out more about. A lot of businesses stay very hidden. They are local champions, if we call it that way. So businesses need to start investing, at least to start investing in putting their business online, have an Instagram page to start with, register on Google and all of that to gain some visibility.
We'll go on this quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking more about tech tools for growing SMEs. Don't go anywhere. You're feeling good so far.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I wanted to ask something, just I just forgot. From what you